Do the Texas Longhorns have the best roster in the country? We're going to dive in that today here on the Free Money Show. Urban Meyer recently spoke about Texas Longhorns and saying that they should not be slept on in terms of the best college football roster in the country. To start on offense, they returned Quinn Ewers, the sixth player ever to achieve a 1.0 recruiting ranking. He had a good and efficient 2022 season, 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and a 58.1 completion percentage. Every loss was by one score or less for Texas last season. And that Alabama game saw Quinn Ewers tie the game back up at 10 and had to leave right after that. And Hudson Card took over to see a narrow defeat for the Longhorns against Alabama. They now have a chance to avenge that loss last season as they head to Bama early in the season. But Quinn Ewers is backed up by QB phenom Arch Manning, who struggled in the spring game but can gradually learn from Quinn Ewers and company this season. Now, a big hit to that talent comment. They do lose Bijan Robinson, who left for the NFL, along with Roschon Johnson, who left for the NFL and the Chicago Bears. He is gone, but Jonathan Brooks will have to step up with very limited playing time in this season, along with CJ Baxter, a 5-star running back who has transferred in the recruiting class, and that will definitely be an area of worry starting the season here on offense. For the pass catchers, leading receiver Xavier Worthy returns for a junior season, as well as 5 out of the 6 top pass catchers for receiving yards. They are supplanted by a 5-star wide receiver recruit, 2 4-star wide receiver recruits, and a 4-star transfer wide receiver from Georgia, Adonai Mitchell, 7 career touchdowns in a Georgia Bulldog uniform, who looks to help out the Longhorns. At tight end, Jatavion Sanders returns with 5 touchdowns last year. Now to the offensive line. They have a gluttony of experience along the entire offensive line. Left tackle, you have sophomore Banks, 13 games started last season. Hayden, a left guard, 13 starts. Center, very experienced Majors, 27 starts. Hudson, 13. And right tackle, Jones, 35 starts. Texas Longhorns offense was very efficient and had a lot of things to build upon from last season. 34.5 points per game, 20th best in the country, and red zone scoring, which is exactly what you need to succeed, 90.2% and 13th best in the country. The strength of their offense was the run with Bijan Robinson. They will look to carry that into next season. Last season, with Robinson and Johnson, 5.2 yards per rush, 16th best in the country, and 34th most yards per game, 188.2. Texas Longhorns, when passing, made the right play. Quinn Ewers, Hudson Card, both of them had great numbers on that. Interception percentage was 1.73, 29th best in the country, and QB sacked percentage really speaks to that offensive line and will improve and maintain from last season. 29th best in the country, 4.48. And the key to winning games is that turnover battle, and Texas was plus 0.2 turnovers, 55 best in the country, and if they want a couple more wins on the margin, they will need to do that as well. Now, the Longhorns have plenty of skill players to make any team tremble, but will need to address the running back room and big shoes to fill for Bijan Robinson. Now to the defense. The defense was good last year, but has some areas to improve. The Longhorn rush defense was great, allowed 3.5 yards per rush, number 19th in the country, and 125.7 yards allowed per game, 30th best in the country. Now, the pass defense left something to be desired. Opponent completion percentage, 62.95, 97th best, not where they want to be in the Big 12, and as they get ready for SEC play next season. 6.3 opponent yards per pass as well, 14th worst in the country. Something that they need to improve on against a passing conference in the Big 12, and 242.7 yards in the air per game, 86th best in the country. Never good when you get near the triple digits. Thankfully, top tackler Jalen Ford returns with 119 tackles on the year, and 3 out of the top 5 tacklers return to this defense. Overshown and his 96 tackles are gone to the NFL, along with Anthony Cook, 61 tackles and 5 pass deflections. Lucky for the Longhorns, top sacker Baron Sorrell comes back to Austin with his 5 sacks, something that they didn't have the best numbers in and will definitely need to get to the quarterback to help out this defense. The top 2 interception stat-wise for Texas on defense also return, with Ford and with 4 interceptions and Barron with 2. Another key for Texas is their red zone scoring defense. They allowed scoring on 76.92% of possessions in the red zone, which was 21st best in the country, as well as the 21st best points per game on defense, 21.6, which is the big reason why they had the record that they had last year. They were very efficient in terms of points per play at 0.28 points per possession, 12th best in the country, and yards per play at 187.4. 5-star linebacker Anthony Hill looks to start day 1 at strong side linebacker. And to be honest, he can really thrive in a defense that needs to improve in a couple of these areas. We'll have a lot of senior and junior experience around him. Their schedule is nothing crazy besides that Alabama game. They start out with Rice at home. That should be a win. The Alabama game can really go either way. It will be week 2 for Tyler Buchner in that system. And to be honest, they really struggled at Texas. And a game that Texas, if they have Quinn Ewers the entire game, who's to say they can't win that, as they only lost by 1 in a 20-19 defeat. They then host Wyoming at home, another win for them at Baylor. I was a big Dave Aranda fan, but it may seem to be that he had Matt Rule's team, and since then he has really struggled and has not been able to get above 500. They then host Kansas. Kansas, I think, was a blip in the radar on the Big 12. I don't think that they can replicate that success, especially going at Texas in a game that they will likely not be favored in. Oklahoma, who knows how that game's going to go, a Red River rivalry, and it is going to be a neutral site game. Not quite sure on that one. They then play host to Houston, who will love to pass the ball, an area that Texas struggled in last season. They will need to improve that if they would like to win that one. They then host BYU, who has had a lot of roster turnover. They are all over the place, and this will be a great home game for Texas. They then play Kansas State. Kansas State, always a tough team. They do lose Deuce Vaughn and a couple playmakers on offense. Not quite sure how they're going to be, so that's going to be a tough one to gauge at this moment. They then play go on the road to TCU. Not quite sure how they're going to be. Max Duggan leaves the program. Quentin Johnson leaves the program. Going to be a couple tough positions to fill for the Horned Frogs. And this late in the season, TCU may be out of it, so a chance for Texas to get a win there. They then also traveled to Iowa State. Iowa State, a team not known for their offense, so should be a decent game for the Longhorns to thrive here. Then play host to Texas Tech, which I think is another win here. And I can realistically see the Longhorns getting 10 wins this season, depending on how that Oklahoma game goes. And who even knows, they can maybe run the table, go 12-0, depending on if they beat Bama in week 2 and Tyler Buchner. But this team is definitely talented, has a great rushing defense, and will have to make teams pass against them, which is an area that they definitely need to improve if they want to compete anyway. Look for a couple freshmen on the defensive side of the ball to make an impact, along with Quinn Ewers improving upon his highly efficient 2022 season. This roster is definitely talented and has a chance to make some noise and may even surprise in the college football playoff this season. So if you enjoy the video, please like, comment, subscribe to the Free Money Show here. We'll be doing a lot more college football videos in the summer lead up before the season, along with during the season. Thank you all for listening. As always, we'll appreciate it. See you next time.